an accurate quote, but then it's on your terms what you're quoting on rather than what they've not suggested.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, go back to them and give them what questions you can come up with. And if that means if they can't answer that, then it's, you know, then they need to get their technical experts involved to tell you. Because, I mean, I suppose in one way it might, you know, come across as pushy or as not helping us, you know, give us a quote when we ask you for it, but that's their ignorance, it's the problem. It's not your pushiness or your inability to give a quote. You know,
they're going to be more pissed off, aren't they, if you give them a quote and then 2 weeks later the quote price goes up like around.
That's right, yeah. I mean, I've had times when I've quoted exactly enough matters for the details, got the details quoted, and we've not gone with the quote I create because they've had 3 other quotes that were vastly inflated, so they came to the conclusion that my quote was underquoted and maybe inaccurate, when it was just the case that other people overquote because they don't want to underquote and they don't have the time or energy to quote exactly. So I can't see it hurts to inquire and get the details, nail down what needs to be localised. And you know, I mean, if it's a client who is reluctant to do that or get involved in that, then really it's a client who could be a bit suspect to work with anyway, because you know, they're not know what to do.
And when it comes to websites, what sort of applications will we likely come across?
Well, websites are designed predominantly with code, so no software is the answer really. Again, if you put graphics in there, the content in it's graphics, which means Illustrator, Photoshop, fireworks. If it's animations, it might be Flash. But there's no real single piece of software used to create web pages or websites. It's all code. It's all programming. There are tools like Dreamweaver that helps somebody who's not up to speed on coding to create websites. You know, there are tools and stuff, and there are online tools as well, like WordPress, where you can author a web page without coding knowledge and basically use the online templates and you create your sort of online code. I mean, those sort of web pages, I don't think you'd be getting requests to localise that anyway. And if you did, it wouldn't be through the WordPress templates that you'd translate it or manipulate the files. It would be again code, and uploading to WordPress would just be the final stage. It would be just as simple as uploading to FTP. Yeah.
So we will more than likely receive like construction files would be things like XML.
Well,
HTML,
yeah,
like that.
yeah. Like I say, in theory, if it's the ideal situation is they've designed it well enough that they've created all the layout as templates without any content at all, and all the content gets poured in from XML content and only XML. So it's just the content in the XML.
And what about CMS? Have you had much experience with that?
Yeah, well, e-learning actually works with CMSs, but they're not called CMSs, they're called LMS, which is just the same, but it's a learning management system. So normally an e-learning course will link somehow to an LMS.
Right, okay.
Now again, in the old days, a few years ago, it was all manually sort of coded to connect the presentation with the LMS, and there were various tools, various custom-made code stuff to do it. But nowadays, with things like Articulate, that links directly, and it publishes to match with any LMS, because there's like standards being put in place now. Same with CMS, I guess, as well. We get about the standard formats to follow. So again, the data that's stored in the LMS is exactly the same as the CMS. It works the same way. So if you're talking about integrating directly to that, then it'd be the same as you integrate directly to the CMS. Not automatically send you the files on your but yeah, I mean, normally with LMSs, then the data isn't as complex as a CMS, because really the LMS just handles the quiz results and stuff like that. So it's normally just for reporting purposes. And doesn't need localization.
Yes? Nothing from yours?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've covered everything apart from apps, and I've not localized any apps, but I'm ready to, and I've got the know-how and the contacts, so I can imagine it will come. Also, actually, there's a lot of potential with EPUB formats. .epub, which is an ebook, and converting existing print documents and books, manuals, stuff like that. There's certainly potential for that. I can see that growing a lot in the future. Certainly in terms of educational learning. There's, if you look at things like iTunes University and e-books in general, if you look at the educational e-books, they're starting now formatting specifically for iPad with interactions and animations and functionality for touch screens, and that's certainly where a lot of media is going now. So again, the software used to create the latest stuff is mainly code, but will require some level of formatting for the pages. And nicely, things like Adobe InDesign are getting that EPUB functioning, where you can design either for print or for EPUB or for both, and you can get duplicate layouts for both formats using the same content in the same file, so you can publish to both.
And would that go for an application such as Articulate? Would you be able to publish for PC and for tablet? Does it have that functionality?
It has actually. An Articulate storyline has got publishing for iPad in it now, because all these e-learning softwares I've mentioned, like Articulate, Captivate, Presenter, they all use Flash to create that interactivity, to create the animations and buttons and stuff. iPad and Apple don't support Flash. So in these latest versions that are coming out now in all software, you're getting where you used to publish to Flash, it's now got HTML5 compatibility, so it doesn't publish it to Flash anymore, it publishes it to code.
Okay. And for the client, is there a cost implication in that if they were to want a PC version and a tablet version? Or is it just a version?
No, because it's when you usurp and override Flash, Flash will become obsolete wouldn't say it's just not 5 catches on because it will be just that format that you can
Right.
machine that will suit for everything.
Okay. Anyone else? Great. Thank you very much, Ben.
Thanks, Ben. Can we get a copy of this?
Yeah, sure. I've got it as a PDF. I've not got it's a new laptop, so I'm not going to get into this. So, yes.